I still remember the exact moment my manager told me that staying late wasn't really work, just housekeeping. Let me take you back. It was a Tuesday morning, the kind where the sky hasn't fully woken up yet. I'd been working at this mid-sized logistics company for about 8 months. Nothing fancy. Data entry, invoice processing, tracking shipments. The kind of job where you show up, do your thing, and leave. At least, that's what I thought. My manager's name was Derek. Mid-40s, polo shirts, always in a hurry. He had this way of talking where every sentence sounded like it was your fault he had to say it. You know the type. That morning, Derek called me into his office. I thought maybe I'd messed something up. A late report, a missed deadline. But no. He smiled. That should have been my first warning.
"Hey," he said, leaning back in his chair. "You've been doing great work." I nodded. Waited. "We've got a big project coming up. Client needs a full data migration by Friday." "Okay," I said. "What do you need from me?" He glanced at a screen, then back at me. "You'll need to stay a few extra hours each night this week. Maybe come in Saturday? Just to get it done." I blinked. "Extra hours? Like overtime?" He waved his hand like he was swatting a fly. "Well, not officially. You're salaried, right?" I wasn't. I was hourly. He knew that. "I'm hourly," I said, quietly. Derek's smile thinned. Right. But look, this is just part of being on the team, you know? We all pitch in when things get busy." Have you ever felt that sinking feeling? When someone is asking you to do something that doesn't sit right, but they're saying it like it's normal? Like you're the weird one for questioning it? That's what it felt like.
I left his office with my stomach in knots. I went back to my desk, stared at my screen, tried to focus. But all I could think about was what he just asked me to do. Work for free. Not because of passion, not because I loved the company, but because he didn't want to pay me. I thought about my rent, my student loans, the groceries I'd been putting off buying because money was tight. And I thought about Derek, his car in the parking lot, his vacation photos on his desk, his casual tone when he told me to just work for free. I didn't sleep much that night. The next morning, I did something I'd never done before. I opened my employee handbook. I know, sounds boring, but hear me out. Because buried in page 17, under wage and hour policies, was a very clear sentence. Non-exempt employees must be compensated for all hours worked, including overtime, at a rate of time and a half. I read it 3 times. Then I screenshotted it. I wasn't trying to start a war. I just wanted to be paid for my time, for my work. Is that really too much to ask? That evening, Derek walked by my desk around 5:15. "You staying late tonight?" he asked, not even slowing down. I looked up. "I can," I said, "but I'll need to log the hours." He stopped, turned around. "Log the hours?" "Yeah, for overtime, since I'm hourly." Pause. His face did this thing, like he was trying to smile and frown at the same time. "We talked about this," he said slowly. "This is just part of the job." I held his gaze. "The employee handbook says I have to be paid for hours worked." Silence. "Are you serious right now?" he finally said. His voice was different, colder. I nodded. "I just want to follow company policy." Derek's jaw tightened. He leaned in a little. "You know what? Fine. Don't stay late. I'll find someone who actually wants to be here." And he walked away. Pause. I sat there for a long time after that, wondering if I'd just made a terrible mistake. But here's the thing. I didn't make a mistake. Derek did. Because the next morning, I sent an email. Not to Derek, to HR. Short, professional, polite. I explained what happened, attached the handbook screenshot, and asked for clarification on overtime policy. I didn't expect much. Maybe a generic response. Maybe nothing. But 2 hours later, I got a meeting invite from the head of HR and someone from legal. Oh. The meeting was tense. They asked me to walk them through everything Derek said. I did. They took notes. A lot of notes. Then they asked if anyone else had been told the same thing. I hesitated. But I remembered something. A few weeks earlier, my coworker, Jason, had mentioned staying late off the clock to finish a report. I told them. They thanked me, told me they'd look into it, and that was it. Or so I thought. 2 weeks later, Derek was gone. Not fired exactly, transitioned to another role, they said. But everyone knew. And then the real news came out. HR had launched an internal audit. Turns out, Derek had been asking multiple employees to work unpaid overtime for months. Some of them had logged dozens of hours they were never compensated for. The company had to pay back wages, with penalties and interest. The total? Just over $40,000. I didn't tell anyone it was me who reported it, but word got around. Some people thanked me. Some people avoided eye contact. One guy in accounting said I made things awkward. Maybe I did, but I also made things fair. Here's what I learned. Standing up for yourself doesn't always feel good in the moment. Sometimes it feels scary. Sometimes it feels lonely. But your time has value. Your work has value. And if someone tells you otherwise, they're wrong. Not because you're difficult. Not because you're ungrateful. But because you're human. And humans deserve to be paid for their labor. I still work in logistics. Different company now. Better manager, better pay. And I've never worked a single unpaid minute since. Because I know what I'm worth. And I'm not afraid to say it anymore.
If this story touched you today, if you've ever been in a moment like this, share your thoughts below. Sometimes we just need to know we're not alone. Thanks for being here. See you next time.